Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another Fellowship of Fandoms podcast. We are back tonight covering Star Trek Strange New Worlds, Season 4, Episode 4. Just going to have a nice little discussion about the new episode. And so I don't talk to myself, I have my Star Trek friend, Mark.
Hello.
Hello and welcome. How are you?
Great. Great. Yeah, excited to talk about season 4, episode 4.
Yeah. It was another kind of like themed episode. So I guess we can just start at the top, which is what we just discussed before I hit record. The Case of Chiaroscuro, which should mean clear dark, coming from an Italian word that basically is the reference to this art style, which is what I just learned. And Mark did know that. I'm just saying it because I'm starting the whole thing.
Oh, I
But
didn't know that. Google told me.
you okay? You also Google it. Okay, cool.
Yeah. No.
All right. I don't know. You're a cultural man. I would totally buy that you knew that. I did have a theory on the last part of the word, but anyway, um, I thought it would be like more. I thought it would have maybe had a more of a metaphorical meaning, but I guess it was very literal, given that the whole episode is black and white in the black and
Yeah.
white style, and just so I don't forget, they also make references to Casablanca. I think at least once.
Okay.
I think maybe even I think that was even like a second nod to it, which is obviously a very famous movie that's also done in this particular style because it's one of the older ones. Um, yeah, I mean legendary of all the gin joints. Anyway,
Yep.
maybe
Yeah.
before we
Is this
kind of
the
go like
first?
yeah, before we go into like the maybe more detailed discussion, yeah, what did you think of the episode in general?
I liked it. I, I I really enjoy the. I mean, I feel like you can't have a Star Trek series without, a 1920s themed black and white mystery situation.
Yeah.
But I think this is probably the first Star Trek episode in black and white for everything except for the last second. Um, and I was trying to remember, is this the first time that an episode is in black and white and the the characters know that they're in black and like it's not a holodeck um, situation. I was trying to think, has it ever been in black and white before in the real Trek world?
Yeah, I did a quick search. I don't think so. I mean, because I couldn't remember, but I thought maybe there was one random episode at some point. But no, I guess not. I think this is the first time.
Yeah,
Which, yeah, I guess season 4 kind of keeps experimenting with the
yeah,
genres and the style, the visual styles, and so on. Like we had dinosaurs, time travel, first episode. Second episode, we had
yep,
proper space horror.
yep,
And then episode 3 was basically a hangover episode,
right,
a drunk mystery. And episode 4, we have a spy noir thriller
yep,
of
yep,
sorts.
yep,
Uh,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. No, I really liked it. I liked that it's a spy noir thriller, but lots of commentary on settler colonialism, lots of new sort of uh, in-universe like additions to canon on the Klingon Empire and relationship between the Klingon Empire and the Federation post-war. It's really kind of I loved it. This is what I look for in Star Trek.
Yeah, you cannot have. I mean, one of the main things Star Trek always did was some kind of social commentary. So yeah,
Mhm.
getting some of these things, it just makes sense. In having resistance, collaborationists, having like a bit of a double cross there, and like these intrigues and stabbing someone stabs somebody else in the back. Double crossing, yeah, it just fits the bill. For me, I mean, I did like it. I'm very happy. when they try to experiment a little bit and then they pull it off. It's just like, yes, I always root for
Yeah.
you, and then you do it, and then I'm very happy for you. So this is, I guess,
Right.
one of those, and I think, yeah, I think that they did a pretty good job overall. Especially, I'll say one of the things that I really liked was, there are some things where we can kind of like nitpick, and maybe we can get into that in a few
Yeah. Yeah.
moments.
Yeah.
Just to make it like a try to make it a balanced discussion instead of just like, oh yeah, Star Trek, we love it, it's great. Um,
Yeah.
but I
A
really,
couple things. Yeah. But
yeah, I do want to say before, just so I don't forget, I really did like the large shots. I feel like they managed to pretty well convey the size of. I don't know if it's because it's in black and white. I feel like maybe if it was like in full proper color, maybe these things will stick out to me more in like a negative way. Like maybe I wouldn't feel that they managed to convey the scale of the city and so on that well. But so I don't know if it's just the color, or if it's just like that they also just did a great job across the board. It would be the same case if it was in color. But I feel like those wide shots, like the kind of like the landscape shots and so on, I feel like they managed to kind of like, they had a once or twice they had like a big shot, and then they kind of zoom in
hmm
into like the proper set, and I feel like those moments are really
right.
well done. So you have these actually really cool massive city shots, and then you kind of feel that when the camera switches to like the characters on a set, it does actually feel like,
Right.
oh yeah, they are in this place. Like, it's not one of those things where like some shows kind of struggle with this. I feel like this episode, it felt like this really was a part of this huge city that they were in, and I think they
Yeah.
did a pretty good
Yeah.
job in technical terms of like conveying like all of this, like making it really feel like, okay, yeah, this really is this city. They really are in it.
Yeah, and I think, with all of my vast knowledge of this film style, as we already established, from my 1 minute Google search, I think that's the a lot to do with the lighting style in this Chiarosco, where it's supposed, I mean, the whole reason it was used back in the day was because, like, everything, well, they had to do black and white, and so they had to use light to give dimensionality to things. And so if you're dealing with sets, like, I mean, there is 3D-ness to a set, but there are a lot of places on the set that's still like 2D background type things. And so now you've got this creative light style that is meant for a set. I mean, it's yeah. So I think a lot of that's coming down to the light play in here. That, and again, kind of going off our conversation last week, where I'm tired of so much CGI. Really happy to get back into sets for this
Yes, oh yeah,
episode.
for sure. Yeah, it's getting these practical effects. That's always the good stuff, because then you really see the effort.
Yeah.
Not to say that obviously people who make, someone has to make that CGI, right? So obviously people putting
Oh
an effort
yeah.
in,
Oh,
but
absolutely, absolutely.
it's still really cool to see proper practical stuff, proper sets, and so on. So that's
Right.
always welcome.
Right.
But
And like you said, a balance, like, right. I mean, that city.
yeah,
I assume that city is a CGI city. I don't think they painted a series of of
yeah. I mean, I guess
animations
they did used
to
to do
do
that,
that.
but I guess they don't probably do that much anymore.
Right.
Or maybe
Yeah.
it's a combination. Who knows? But either way, it is pretty well done. I did have the thought though, when so they were picking up this probe that was stuck on, or buoy, or whatever is I guess the probe, that was stuck on the other side of like the like in the Klingon part of space, and then they kind of have to like go back to the into this planet's, like they have to kind of land and pretend like to blend in and kind of wait for the opening to get out. Um, so there was a moment where they're in the shuttle, and they're like, "Oh, well, we have to synthesize the clothes. We have to try to blend in, And then there was a moment when I was like, "Okay, I wonder how this is going to look like." And we already saw the wide, like city landscape when the shuttle was coming in. So I was thinking,
Right.
okay, this must be some like real life Earth looking set, and lo and behold, yeah, like there's that moment when the camera switches and they're like walking into the street, and
Right.
it was a moment where I was like, okay, yeah, this is one of those. Okay, we need to use the sets we have available to kind of like do a bottle, or like not a bottle episode, but like to do like a specific episode, so we can use some of the sets we have available. It's one of those things,
Yeah.
but still, it's like this is where the creativity comes to. Like, how can you use this? How can you spin it around? And I mean, I guess
Hmm. Hmm.
it's
Hmm.
this outside set is probably one. There's probably just like one. They just like keep using different shots and so on and so on. But I feel like
Right.
they do a pretty good job of like balancing. So it's not like, oh yes, again, it's the same set constantly, the same angle and so on. So it's good
Right.
stuff.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
but I wanted to ask you, what did you think of the villain? I mean, who's the villain here? I guess Klingons in general,
Right.
occupation. Uh, yeah, but I guess it's all personified in this gentleman here by the name of
Right.
Core.
Core. Yeah. I found him believable. I mean, but yeah, was he the villain or was the turncoat? I mean, not the collaborator, right?
Yeah.
The human who is working for the Klingon. Is he, the ultimate villain? Um, but well, I think they need both. They need both to succeed as villains. Um, but no, I mean, after I'm just happy to see a Klingon that looks like what I expect a Klingon to look like after Discovery.
You know, I was
So,
literally checking
um,
my notes, and I was getting ready to bring up this exact point. Like, I'm just happy that Klingons look like themselves again. They look slightly updated.
right, right,
It's like, you know, when you play game part one, then game part two, it's graphics because it's like been 5 or 6 years, and then the graphics looks way better. So it's just kind of the
sure,
situation where it's like, oh yeah, it just looks a bit better than before, I guess.
right, yeah, yeah, yeah. But in the, I can believe that Core is the same race as Worf, right? Whereas
Oh yeah,
on
100%.
Discovery,
That was
that's then you're back to like trials and tribulations, and Worf is looking around trying to not have to explain why
we do not
he is a
discuss
Klingon, but
we do
those
not
humans
discuss
are
this with
also Klingons.
strangers.
Right, right. No, yeah, I liked. I mean, I thought, um, yeah, I thought he did a great job acting along with I can't remember the actress's name for Una, number
Rebecca Romaine.
one's character. Yeah, yeah. I thought they were great. Both. I thought the writing for their interactions were great. Basically
Yeah.
she's playing the double spy as, every trope imaginable, like using
Oh
the
yeah. It
Klingon,
was it was a very
obsession with
tropey episode.
cruelty and violence, and he like is clearly turned on at one point by her the ruthlessness that she's
Yeah.
portraying, and she's completely leaning into it. Yeah, I mean, I think it was yeah. What did you think?
Yeah, I well, so another of my notes is, you know, the whole episode is a bit cliche, but you know, it's Star Trek, and they
Yeah, yeah,
kind
yeah.
of like to lean into these things and then do something with them. And there was plenty, like, you know, the whole plot of this episode, there isn't anything crazy unique about it. But again, this is one of those things when like when you're doing a themed episode, you're going
Mhm.
into a certain setting with certain expectations, and then I guess you can try to subvert them a little bit and so on. But still, like, there are certain points where you kind of need to hit in order for a story to work, because you're trying to tell a specific type of story. So it is what it is. But yeah, I think they did it overall pretty well. And you know, like, I mean, she's a great actress that's been out there for, I don't know, 30 plus years. She's, you know, pretty recognizable. Well, what's the word? she has had she is having a great career, present tense, and obviously the whole rest of the crew. I mean, I cannot remember the name. Give me a second. Babs Olusan Mokun, gentleman who plays Dr. Mbenga.
Yeah.
He's such it's such a contrast with his the energy that he has with his
Hmm.
voice that's unexpectedly soft, but that obviously
Yep.
suits him so perfectly. He is just
Right.
such a presence on screen. Um, he's
Yeah.
just a very subtle force. He's like a storm that's like outside, and you're having a nice time here in the house, but there's a storm outside. But it's like it's behind the walls, behind the curtains, but it's like it's there.
Right.
It's very present.
Right.
So that's kind
Right.
of
And yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. And they lean the character into that. I mean, even in this episode, there's a line where he says, something along the lines of, his job and his whole,
his
mission in
calling.
life is to save, his calling is to save lives. And so often his skill is the opposite, right? Or
Yeah,
something like that, right?
yeah,
And
yeah. His
yeah,
calling is
and
healing,
they
but
hinted that a
it's
lot.
ironic that his skills are actually some of his best, most developed skills are actually in the service of the opposite cause.
Right, right, right.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
No,
No,
I
I
feel like
love the
it was.
character. I keep
Yeah,
thinking, well, where's Bones, right? Where's Dr. McCoy? Like they
yeah,
got to introduce him sometime soon.
yeah,
Um, but in the back of my mind, I keep thinking, oh, I'm sad because it means that Benga's like there's going to be some interaction, I assume, where they transfer, ships passing in the night, sort of situation, maybe.
yeah. It would be interesting to get some kind of interaction between them. Actually, that's I didn't think of that. But yeah, it's like we've seen Bones. How many versions of him? At least two, I guess. Two. I guess we saw two versions of him in the movies, in the new movies, and
Yeah, the
obviously
movies and yeah,
DeForest Kelly.
right.
We've seen plenty of Dr. McCoy, so I'm very happy that we get to hang out with Mbanga. And like, I mean, that's the beauty of this show. We get to hang out with these characters that got little to no screen time. I guess he was in the
Yeah.
first maybe 5 to 10 episodes of the original series before McCoy. I think he has at least a couple of episodes, I feel like. Or was he only in the pilot?
Oh, I didn't. I'm blanking on that. I didn't realize Mbenga
I
was
I I
canon.
I think he was in a couple of episodes of the original series. I don't think
Oh,
McCoy starts from the right from the start. I might be wrong. Um, but either way, getting Dr. Mbanga to as the main doctor was obviously the right call to just give this whole basically new crew that we haven't really interacted with before. He is definitely one of the main pillars. Did you find it?
no, I'll search for
Okay.
it.
um, but anyway, we also have. It's kind of cool because we have a few different. We have three different points of view. So we have, and Uhura is like the young, inexperienced one, and Benga is like
Yep.
the experienced mentor support one, and then Una is kind of like the main character of this one. And yeah, I guess that was pretty good to like kind of like help cover all the points. Um, how did you feel about the fact? And they, to their credit, they do reference it, and they do try to justify it in within the episode. Mega himself to Hura about the fact that of all the planets, of all the gin joints on all the planets, in all the solar systems of the galaxy, she had to walk right into this one where her
Right.
doppelganger, exact doppelganger, has been murdered like 2 days ago.
Right.
So yeah, I think that's one of those things where it's like, okay, I kind of have to accept this. like at the start of the episode, and then I can enjoy the rest of the episode. I kind of just have to go along with this one thing, and then the rest kind of falls into place. How was it for
Right.
you? Were you like, oh come on, or were you just like, ah yeah, classic, let's go?
This no this that when I said I had some bone to pick, like this is the one thing. And honestly, like, okay, I can get fine doppelganger, that's okay, it's okay. You know what really got me was the retinal scan. It's like, no, no, there's not a person, like, there are not two identical eyes in the universe. Like, I can believe that there's faces, like you can have similar
A
faces,
hundred
like,
percent.
but but a retinal scan, like, unless I'm not a I'm not that kind of doctor, so I don't know exactly how eyes work, but I'm pretty sure they're pretty unique. Bah, so and to have both the face and the eye, like, no. So
Yeah.
that,
Okay.
like, that was the only, at that point I was like, "Ah, why did you really have to go that far? Like, you didn't need a retinal scan." So that's the only, really the only criticism think I have of, like, the entire episode. Honestly, that is the one time I was like, come on, why?
Yeah, fair enough.
What did you think?
Yeah. So for me, I I guess by the time we got to the retinal scan, I was like, okay, I accepted the original premise that she somehow is a doppelganger, and I'll just go with it. I
Hmm.
guess the scenario has certainly some flaws, um, but I don't know. Overall, it's a fun episode. It's interesting to see a bit of um, black and white, a bit of noir, and it's cool to get like a new type of episode, like as you said, like, as we said earlier, a black and white episode done in this particular style, completely explained by the sun that kind of just has this effect. And actually, it reminded me of in Dune, we had in Dune Part 2, the Harkonnen planet has a similar situation going on. They have a very black and white. I guess their sun
Right.
is probably, it's maybe the same sun like as this one. Um, yeah, so yeah,
Some
that's pretty cool.
radiation technical thing. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. I did look
I
up.
yeah,
Yeah, I did look up Mbenga, and he was in two episodes of the original series, um, Private Little War and That Which Survives. So yeah, I don't know the original series as well as I should know,
I mean, yeah,
but I recognize the
I,
face now that I see it.
yeah, and then I guess if you count also the pilot episode, then I guess he was in 3 episodes total, the first pilot.
Right,
Um,
right.
I did want to say, and I guess we can go to the kind of like the subplot, the or like
Hmm.
plot B or subplot B, which was Alan's investigation.
Hmm.
Firstly, I do like how we get an Odyssey reference because she says, "Oh, let's
Yeah,
see if we
yeah,
got the
yeah.
Trojan horse on board." And given that the Odyssey just came out, Christopher Nolan's Odyssey
And
just
they
came
knew
out.
it was coming out. That was
Yeah,
that was deliberate.
there must.
Yeah,
I was gonna
yeah.
say like there must have been like they knew like they would know they would have known
Oh
when it
yeah,
was
oh
coming.
yeah.
Like there must be a deliberate one. But hey, fair play. I
Yeah.
mean, I'm always up for any
Yep.
kind of Odyssey um, reference, so that was pretty good. And yeah, I guess her subplot was interesting. She is so they referenced the fact that they all had they all like four of the crew members had
Hmm.
been turned into Vulcans, but actually she was turned into a Romulan. It was again
We
one of
just don't
those.
know Romulans exist yet, except for
Yeah,
Lon and Pike.
yeah, and yeah, they're kind of referencing this and that it's still kind of influencing her maybe, and that she's been, I don't know, having some kind of therapy or psychotherapy regarding this. And Spock is kind of dismissive. Like for him, it doesn't really make sense that any of these things are happening, and he's kind of like subscribing to this. Oh, it's just kind of like your Romulan, not genius anymore, but kind of like the aftermath of this whole thing. That's kind of making you paranoid and
Yeah,
so on.
Klingon or Vulcan. Yeah, because
Yeah, yeah,
Spock
but
doesn't
like,
know that she was Romulan.
he doesn't know. Yeah, okay. Or I thought maybe
Right,
he
right.
he did later. Oh well, either way,
No,
it's the
no.
fact that
Well,
this this
I
whole
don't think
genetic
so.
thing that
Yeah,
happened.
sure.
Anyway,
Right,
it turns out that it was Nurse Chapel that actually did this little I don't know, Robin Hood quest of her own, where she wanted
right.
to basically hide the fact that some medical ship were captained by a friend of hers, went across the border, did something, and then so yeah, and Delan decides to keep this between them, and that's kind of it with this. So this
Yeah,
episode was mainly an Una episode. I guess we did also
right.
get a bit of Uhura. She kind of was basically she was tortured for information, but she persevered. Um, and Banga, he had plenty of his own bits, and we still get a bit more of him in kind of like a support role. And then basically, mainly, otherwise, it's a LAN episode with a little bit of Nurse Chapel in it. So, any particular thoughts on that whole subplot?
Yeah, I mean, not particularly.
There isn't that much to,
I,
I guess,
no,
break down.
I saw an episode, or I saw interview with the actress that plays Lon, um, and the interviewee had asked whether we get any um, Easter eggs in season 4 about how Lon leaves the Enterprise because of course she's not in the original series. And the actress said, "No, you don't we don't get anything in season 4." So at first I was thinking, "Oh, they might be setting up like this all might be sort of building." But yeah, from her response it sounds like uh, whatever is whatever's going to happen with her character is going to happen in season 5. So yeah, otherwise, I was just thinking when you were recapping there, as far as the medical ship that was, basically turning a blind eye to a medical ship, attempting to lend aid to a settler colony across the international border. That certainly speaks to current affairs now,
Oh,
and
yeah.
whether or not people are, supportive or not of the Greta Thunberg's and the international um, flotillas that have been attempting to lend aid to Palestinians. And so I didn't really think about that when I was watching it, but that might actually be a reference to um, the ships that have been trying to provide aid across the Israeli border.
Okay. Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I didn't. Uh, I kind of took it, yeah, as I guess I didn't connect it. Maybe that it could be like this specific event, but yeah, I guess it certainly was like okay, I see kind of what's going on there, but I didn't tie it to like a particular um
Right.
like this flotilla of theirs. Yeah, I guess it could be, but still, it's I found it as overall as in like an interesting little plot, which kind of added to the
Right.
whole thing, and I guess it just gave Enterprise something to do so we could see what's going on that side. Um,
Right.
but yeah, let me see. Is there anything particularly else? I think we, at least on my side, kind of discussed most of the points. I guess maybe we can do like a ranking. Where does this episode go for you so far in season 4?
In season 4, I'd say it's at the top. Um, I, if I liked horror, episode 2 might be higher. But uh, I don't, so it's not.
Fair enough.
No, I think I liked geopolitics. So like talking about,
Yeah.
an occupying empire, and they did a good job highlighting the impacts of a settler colonial state on an occupied colony, right? you control communication, you control mobility, you control identity, right? That's the three things. And to push back against it, you retake those systems. And so re-establishing mobility, re-establishing communications, and basically cheating your way through a state identification process. Like that is that relationship of a settler colonial state to the colonizer. Um, and
Yeah.
so, yeah, as a social scientist, like this is a great episode to show students and to talk through big picture conversations, which is what I like I said, that's kind of what I look for in Star Trek, like those
Yeah.
geopolitics type things.
Fair enough. Yeah, and I guess it's not only kind of applicable already. It's not like you can only find parallels with this in present day. Obviously, it's also very
Yeah,
universal. Like it's completely universal. Again, it's a very quote, not in a bad way, but it is a very tropey episode. Um,
yeah,
tropes galore everywhere, but still,
yeah,
again,
yeah.
they kind of do something cool with it, so it's cool. For
And
me,
you
it's
haven't
just
seen Voyager, right?
I have seen, yeah. They had,
You okay? So
yeah,
you've watched Voyager?
yeah.
Yeah, okay, okay. Sorry, I couldn't remember. It really like it reminded me of the Trojan Nazi episode.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Like
yeah, yeah.
like the style and plot lines and
Yeah,
I don't know. I was
it's
getting
one of
like
those
flashbacks
things.
to that for
It's a
some
similar type
reason.
of story.
Yeah,
Yeah, but I was going to
yeah,
say,
yeah.
like, it reminds me of to me, it reminded me of like the Nazi resistance movies from my country, which had this whole
Right,
like we had a
right,
couple of movies. Like it's the same thing. Like they come, they said like control mobility, control identity, control communications. It's the standard thing. It's like, and it's always been. And I'm sure you can make parallels even to like, I don't know, era of Rome. They would have done the same thing, just in within the system that was available back then. So it's
right,
still it's all very universal, but also, as you said, like it's very also contemporary, sadly. But anyway,
right.
solid episode. And for me, I'm not sure what I would rank it. I will say, like, for me, it's still number two. Number one is episode two, the Griffin incident. The horror episode for me, it's still, I found it the most engaging. I feel like this one is number two, maybe. Number three is maybe the first one, and then number four is the Hangover episode. Just purely on the basis of like it was fun. I do kind of look at it more in a nicer way now, a bit in with like one week has passed. We also had a discussion after I saw it. I do kind of like it more, but still, it's like the least unique. It's like it gave me like the least of any new things, right? It was mainly for building the
Sure.
friendship that actually we do see in this episode of Ortega's and Scotty. So that was nice that we had a little moment with them in this episode where it's like, okay, yeah, they're kind of friends now. And that's basically what Lan
Right.
says to Captain Pike at the end of the episode. Like, oh yeah, that's the
Yeah,
thing I
yeah, yeah,
learned
yeah,
of
yeah,
this whole case. I learned this.
yeah.
Did you know they're friends now? So
Right.
you know,
Yeah.
I mean, I did not dislike that episode. I just like it the least. But yeah,
Right.
horror, noir, time travel, hangover. Also, it's like kind of like these are just the three more interesting ones. Just kind of like by the default, for me, they're the more interesting
Yeah,
ones.
yeah, yeah,
So it's like
yeah, yeah. I think mine is it's I think it's 4-3-2-1 for me, which is exciting. Now, I
oh
like
wow,
that
interesting.
for a season, right? And it's
Okay, no,
building
I mean
every
that is
time.
good.
I like everyone more than the last, and so don't let me
Okay,
down. Well,
well,
I
may
can't
they
wait for
keep.
the puppet. Where are the puppets? I
I guess that's the next one. May they keep doing
is
this.
it?
I think it's the next one, or I think
Awesome.
it's the next
I
one. Yeah.
haven't looked. Yeah. Cool. I kind
Um,
of like look forward to being surprised more like it.
yeah. I will say I do hope that, and I'm sure we'll get there. Especially, okay, kind of a theory for now. I do think, especially because there is a plot with Pike that needs to happen. and season 5
Right.
is going to be shorter. They are wrapping up. They know they're wrapping up. So I was going to say I hope that the later part of the season is more a bit more continuity. Like I was thinking I didn't zoom in the camera accidentally for the whole episode, and now here we are. Damn it!
Yep.
All right, I'll just move it away a little bit. Anyway, I was going to say that I hope that the second part of the season will be more like some kind of like continuity, like a bit more of some plot that kind of goes over a few episodes. Um, so I'm thinking now that maybe they're just trying to like shoot out a kind of these like standalones, just like get them out,
Right.
and then just kind of like go into like a bigger overarching narrative over the
Right.
last, effectively like maybe 10 episodes of the show or something like this. Like the last season. I mean, I'm
Yeah.
sure the
Yeah.
last season will also have maybe like one or two kind of like standalone episodes, probably. I don't think it will all be like
Right.
just one long movie, but there will still probably be this larger plot because they kind of have to go out with a bang, and
Right.
it's going to be like
Right.
the
Yeah. You can't do that.
goodbye for the
Yeah.
cast and crew of the ship, or most
Right.
of them.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. DS9 style
Yeah,
Dominion War.
exactly.
Right.
Yeah, and
um.
DS9 is my favorite Star Trek, and I feel like
Same.
they kind of had maybe the most. I mean, also by the nature of the story and by design, they had obviously the most serialized storytelling, at least of those
Hmm.
OG series. And I feel like this is kind of like where I want my Star Trek. Like I want some episodes, I want episodic stuff, but I want
Hmm.
serialized stuff as well. So I want like there we go.
Right.
I want like
And they did a
larger
good
storytelling.
job. Yeah. Yeah. And they did a good job of random events happening in the middle of the series where so that they could still do episodic in the
Oh yeah,
middle of the Dominion War seasons.
yeah,
So yeah, but yeah, I completely agree. I expect season 5 is a six-parter. Um, and
yeah. I think it will
I
be,
guess I would
or like
bet
five plus one or something.
it's I maybe I'm gonna bet that it's episode 10 ends with a cliffhanger, and then the all 6 episodes of next season are building on whatever chaotic event that they introduced to episode 10. But who knows? Maybe they'll just keep going with this fun episodic, which sure, cool. I'm liking
Yeah,
it. So
and then maybe just do like a two-parter that just kind of like wraps up. I don't know. I guess we'll
yeah, yeah,
have to wait and see. But I don't know. I think I'm leaning more towards your tier as well. Like I think there's going to be like a bit of a string of 4 or 5 episodes for sure. But I guess we'll see. Um, but anyway,
yeah.
I think that's kind of it maybe for tonight. Do you have any final notes, or or we covered pretty much?
No, I'm yeah. Like I said, I want puppets. Bring them on.
All right. Well, I think that's next week.
Singing puppets, even better.
So there we go. All right. Then that's kind of it. I guess, yeah, thanks to whoever is listening to this. We covered Strange New Worlds Season 4, Episode 4. And yeah, we'll be back either next week or the week after that to maybe cover 2 episodes. We'll see. But yeah, good times. And yeah, we will also be doing. We did House of the Dragon, season 3, every episode, and we will probably do a bit of the DC's Lanterns TV show, which is premiering on Sunday. Um, kind of like evening in US and middle of the night for Europe. I don't know exactly. Basically, the Game of Thrones House of the Dragon time slot. Whoever's following, so we'll probably do a bit of that as well. And there's going to be a big D23 um, convention, I guess, of Marvel. Like there's going to be a lot of Marvel news, basically, a lot of Disney news this weekend, and we should be covering those as well. So yeah, a lot of interesting little things, and kind of going boldly into the second half of this season as well of Star Trek. So yeah, I guess we'll be seeing you soon. Have a good evening, and thanks, Mark, and see you all around next time.